Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, today I've got a first impression / modification video on a knife that I bought recently. I've looked at these and watched videos, and I've got the original of this, or should I say used to have the original of this. I've traded it off and after I got this one. But I loved that knife. I loved the blade design. And then when I saw these and started watching a lot of videos on these and actually got to handle one of them and fell in love with the handle and had to have one. But I decided not to do an unboxing video, not to do the first impressions and then the modification video, do them two separate ones. Decided to do them all in one. Never have been big on unboxing videos. I've done a few, but most of the time I get them out, start using them, then do a first impressions video, then later do the modifications. But the knife I've got is the ESEE-6 handle modification, the HM model. So let me get you turned around here and we'll go over first impressions, go over modifications, and go from there. So hang on just a second, let me get you. All right, starting out. Like I said, it's the ESEE-6HM model, handle modification model. First of all, I'll go over with what I've done with the sheath. It is a Kydex sheath. It's a fold over design with holes up both sides like most of them that ESEE produces. First thing I'd done was cut a chunk off the sheath. I like the sheath, except when you try to get a grip on the knife, the sheath come up so far that you could only really get a good grip with 2 fingers on it. Where I cut it off, and I'll show you here real quick, the sheath actually come up to about right there. So I cut about a 1/2 inch off that side and probably 3/4 of an inch off this side to allow a better grip on the knife. When you would try to grab it before, you could only grab it about like that because the Kydex come up that far. That finger was way out here on the edge of the sheath. So in cutting it off like I did, that allows to get a full hand grip on that knife before you draw it out. And then the other thing that I did is I heated the clip up here and bent it out away from the handle. When I got it, that set in, and that metal up here at the top actually touched the handle, and you couldn't get your hand in there to get a hold of it. So by heating that up and bending that out, opened that gap up to make it easier to get a grip on the knife to draw it from the sheath. So get the knife out. First of all, when I got the knife, the handle is linen micarta. It was almost white. It was such a light gray. What I did is I put the knife in a vise, put a piece of leather around the blade to hold it, rubbed the handle down with brown shoe polish, then took a heat gun, or you could use a hair dryer or whatever, just enough to heat it up so that the shoe polish would melt and you could watch it absorb into the micarta. Then after I got 2 or 3 coats of that on, let it set for a little bit, and then wiped it down good with a rag and got all of the excess off. That's how I darkened the handle up. If you've watched my channel, you know that I hate any kind of coating on my blades. So I cleaned the black coating off of this, took it all the way down to the metal, and then put a vinegar patina on the blade. And that's the thing I like about putting patinas on blades with apple cider vinegar, is they always come out different, and every one's got a different kind of pattern to it. But I left all the coating on, as you can see, under the handle scales. I do that to prevent rusting under the handle scales if any moisture gets in there. The knife itself is identical to a regular ESEE-6 from the choil forward. This would be where the choil is on a regular ESEE-6. And then you would have the handle come down in the back, then have the slab handles on out the back. I can show you kind of what I'm talking about here. Let me get my ESEE-5. They have the same handle scales. The ESEE-6 and the ESEE-5 have the same handle scales. Now, picture the choil in front of the handle scales. So overall, the handle, it's still the same length as you can see, but what they've done is they've took that choil and then started the handle at the apex of it to move everything forward. My ESEE-6, I had somebody wanted it, and we done some trading, so I don't have it to compare to this one, and I'm sorry about that. But the thing that really caught my attention with this is the handle. That handle, let me get it turned around here because I'm left-handed. When you grab that handle, it naturally wants to follow the curve of your grip right through here. You put it in your hand and you grip it, it naturally wants to follow. And that makes it very, very comfortable to use. The smaller diameter in your hand makes it easy to grip. You can have a very relaxed grip with this knife and still have good control. The only thing that I've done with the edge on this one, if you've watched a lot of my videos, you know that I usually reprofile all my knives to 20 degrees. When I got this one, I checked it and it was at 23 degrees from ESEE. So I didn't change it. I left it just to see what it would do. ESEE, along with tops and most other knives that are made on a production line, they're sharpened with a belt, and you can see the grind marks in the edge where they sharpen them. What I did with this one's I took diamond stones, smoothed all of that out, got all of that out, and then polished it out with a ceramic and leather. But overall, I'm very pleased with the comfort of this knife. I wasn't sure about it being so small in diameter, but it's really, really comfortable, and just enough of a swell back here in the back to keep it in your hand. I've got the gathering coming up next week. I'm going to use this knife at the gathering, and I'll try to get some video of using it. Feather sticks, batoning, that kind of stuff. My setup this year is going to be a little different from what it's been the last couple of years. Let me get you turned back around here. My setup this year is going to be a little different. I told you that I've done some trading with my ESEE-6, and traded with a buddy of mine. Got it's supposed to be, I think it says a 9x9, and it's like 8.5 by 9 3/4, so it's closer to an 8x10. Panther Primitives diamond shelter tarp. It is water resistant. It's I think they call them a sundowner or something, canvas. It's flame retardant, all of that. I'm actually going to set up a shelter with it this year, set up my awning and all of that this year, and kind of going old school. Simpler is better. I took the whole bed of my truck full of stuff last year just for me, and My son's going to come with me one night, but other than that, it's going to be me. So I don't need as much stuff as I've taken in the past. But there you go. Real quick, go over the ESEE-6HM. I'll get some use video of it next week, and we'll go from there. So like, share, subscribe. I'll get another one up for you soon.